Activity 1.3 is called How to Do It, and this is going to refer to getting into the actual MakeCode website and starting to code how to do the project as far as what the layout looks like. I'm going to walk you through the steps right now. Essential questions they're the same as Activity 1.2. You can write them down if you have anything else you want to add to those questions. Materials, remember the microbit is in the back of the classroom. The USB cable is in the same baggie as the microbit, and then you'll need access to the MakeCode website. I'm going to open that up so it can get loading. A couple of resources for you, and again, remember, if you took the time to create a Google folder, when you download these, right here, these hex files, these two are the arrows to download. When you download those, you'll click Show in Folder. It's usually on the right-hand side, and then just simply drag that file over to your Google Drive. That way that's always saved and it's backed up. Microbit scavenger hunt. There's quite a few vocabulary terms here. Just click on them. Write down what you need to know about that term. You don't have to write everything down. Block-based programming, it's coding with blocks that connect together. That's all you really have to know. Block-based coding is a drag and drop. That's good. You just need to understand what block-based programming looks like. Here's where you're going to go to get access to the MakeCode website. Locate the Help menu and explore its options. So once you get here, there's your Help menu. Here's your different options. Now just a quick overview. Projects, this is where you're going to spend quite a bit of your time for Activity 1.3. When you click on Projects, it's going to pop open with a lot of different projects that you can create. Some of the projects are very easy and won't take much time, and some are a little bit more challenging. So I do encourage you, and I do want to challenge you to find some of these projects that are maybe a little bit more challenging than you're used to with coding. And all you'd have to do, if you want to do the coin flipper, you click on it, and it's going to take you through step by step. It's going to tell you the code. It's going to give you some information about it. So this is going to be helpful so you can understand, okay, so when I push button A, or when button A is pressed, what is it going to do? Now, if pick random true or false, it's going to walk you right through the steps. And what you can do here, I'm going to move this for a second. If you hit play, it'll show you what it's going to actually look like. And there's not a whole lot of code going on yet, so it's not going to show you too much. All right, I'm going to back up out of here. I'm just going to close this. If I go back to the Help menu, I have reference, I have blocks. If I click on blocks, this is going to give me a bunch of information about the different pieces of the blocks. For instance, when you click on if you need a loop, what is the purpose of the loop? Here's what the loop or the repeat does. Here's logic. If something happens, then something else happens. Here's your variable. There's built-in objects. There's a bunch of other things that you can use for this. If you click this, it's going to take it to a big screen, and it's going to take you through everything. You can use it that way, or you can just simply click out of it. JavaScript. Now you'll notice up here, there's a Blocks tab, and there's a Convert to JavaScript tab. So if you click that, it's going to take the code you just ran as blocks, and it's going to essentially just turn it right into JavaScript. And then the JavaScript will show up here eventually. It's not loading at this second, but it will. I'm going to click back to my blocks. If you're interested in the JavaScript, all you do is click on JavaScript, and then right here it's going to show you how to use a function, how to order statements in code, make a way to remember data. There's a lot of things here that you can just click on. It's going to give you a bunch more information. So I'm going to click back to my blocks. It may take a couple seconds, which is perfectly fine. But the main thing you're going to do for this scavenger hunt is you're going to get into the projects, make a couple projects, test them out on the microbit. You should be making multiple projects. If you want to start with a guided experience, select projects. That's going to walk you through what we just talked about here. Explore the hardware page, explore the blocks menu. So it's just going to take you through everything that is right here. PLTW Gateway Notebook. You need to go through and answer all these questions in your notes. Then there's going to be an assessment of some sort in PowerSchool or Unified for you to take. So what you're going to do is, in which drawer do you find a block that would allow you to add or subtract? You're going to click, I'm going to refresh that real quick while I'm going through. So all you're going to do is you're going to click on, you'll just go through right here. So if you click on basic, here's the different blocks or the code that you can create. Click on more, here's a couple more that you can create. So you're just going to write down the answer in your notes and then take those answers and then type those into the assessment that you'll have in PowerSchool Learning. Here's a good help right here. You can search the drawer. So if you type in search, if you're looking for music and you don't understand that it's in the music drawer or something like that, you can just type in here the search box. Flowcharting the Blink. You need to make sure at this point you are going to create a flowchart for a program that you're going to create. Now the program that you create needs to blink some way. It can have some LEDs turn on, some LEDs turn off, have some animation going with it, but you need to create the flowchart first. So take this flowchart, this table here, and you're actually going to draw it out in your notes, or you can create it in Google Drawings. It's up to you. But in your notes or on that drawing, you need to have these shapes, and you need to tell me in the flowchart what your program is going to look like. Here's your step-by-step. What happens first, what happens next, and so forth. When your flowchart is created, you're then going to come down here and you're going to actually make the program. So I then would take my flowchart that I've already created in my notebook, and I'm going to start to code right here. So I need to find my input. I want to go on button A and drag it over. This is similar to Scratch and Code.org, all websites that you guys have used in the past. Main thing is, if your flowchart makes it seem too easy, challenge yourself right here. Add more to it. This is where it says programming. If you have an innovator and a maker, this is if you have a partner. One person's the innovator, one person's the maker, and then you can just essentially switch jobs in a little bit. Do go through step by step, answer the questions, look at your flowchart, tell the other person, or if you're by yourself, just look at your flowchart and start to create that. Here is your emulator. So I have on button A pressed, and let's say I want to drag this over and do a couple of these. It's going to only work if I press A. Now the emulator is off just a little bit here, but if I press A, there we go, it's going to show up. If I want to test my code on the actual microbit, I'm going to go to our website, computer science page. I'm going to scroll all the way down here. Here's a video step by step that shows you how to save the code and how to download it. Or here are the directions. So you're going to follow those steps if you want to download your code onto the microbit. Here's a really good point, the milliseconds. Now the purpose of the program is to create a blink. So something turns on, it has to temporarily shut off too. So this is where the blink and the pause are going to come into play. Connections and board confirmation. Step 15, this is where you grab the microbit if you don't already have one and plug it in. The USB needs to get plugged into your computer and then into the back of the microbit. You don't need the battery pack unless you're going to take the microbit away from your computer. A couple more things here you can work on. Remember, just a one click, it downloads it. Open up your show in folder and then drag that file over to your microbit. And it shows you the directions on right here on our website. Couple more things here. LED grid practice exercises. Just click on it and take yourself through the different LED grids and how you understand 0-1 or 1-1 or 3-1. That helps you with plot and unplot. These questions, write them down in your notes and then also answer those in PowerSchool Learning. You do also need to show me, at this point, you would need to show me your blinking project, and that would be right here. So once you get the program working on your microbit, raise your hand, I'll come over and I'll sit down with you, and you can present your microbit program, the blink program. Turning on, turning off, some kind of animations with it. Then I'll check your notebook at that same time. All right, that is activity 1.3. Thanks.